I'm recording this at the tail end of 2021. The second half of this year has been marked by pharmaceutical companies wanting to push this new drug on us, right? And keep in mind that they're still monitoring the effects of this drug. They're using us as test subjects for this drug. And our leaders taking their bribe to push this drug and take away some of our to potentially take away some of our most important civil liberties if we resist. And I want to say that as bad as this situation has become, it has pushed me to do some things that I've been putting off for a very long time. One of the first things I came to realize after I got angry about this situation was that our most valuable asset in life is our connection with other human beings, right? So here in King County, technically I should have had a lot of problems going out in public, keeping my job, looking for new work. I should have had a lot of problems with all of that, but I haven't. And why? Because I made sure to make a lot of connections over the last year. You got to keep in mind, a year ago today, I used to have a big fear of loud environments. Kind of funny now because one of my favorite hobbies nowadays is to go bowling. I could never do that a year or 2 years ago. I used to get very wired up when I went into a loud environment, right? Especially go bowling this year, right? Last year I could do it because it was only open 25% capacity, right? But now they have cosmic bowling. They have flashing lights. I still have trouble with flashing lights. I can deal with loud noises a lot better. One of my least favorite things to deal with in terms of flashing lights is that people love to flash their headlights at me on the highway for some reason. You know, if I'm looking for directions, you know, I've learned the hard way to try not to look for directions while on the road because that will drive me nuts. People don't have a whole lot of patience for that, especially here in Seattle. But I'm already lost. Somebody flashes their lights at me, and now I don't feel safe. And of course, I'm going to keep going slowly if I'm not feeling safe. And then they flash their lights even more. And I almost thought about some way to communicate to the driver behind me, please stop flashing. I'm just lost. I haven't really thought about a good way to do that right there. I wish there was a turn signal that says, hey, I'm lost, I'm sorry. I usually just go left, right to indicate, sorry, I'm lost. But a lot of people don't get that message either. Anyway, but I've made a lot of connections to important people because I realize that's our biggest asset. Now, my mom is very worried for me being taken advantage of by people. But how is it being taken advantage of when during this really difficult time, I'm still able to go out to board game clubs, go to a restaurant, go to a bowling alley, keep my job, and find another job during this time? How does anybody call that being taken advantage of, right? Yes, I might have to invest some time into the situation, but the alternative is to have none of these connections, right? So my mom drives me crazy. I can't talk to her for the holidays because I'd rather I'd rather have these connections than anything else. The other thing that it has pushed me to is because we're so angry about dealing with this pharmaceutical drug, sometimes I have to negotiate with people who don't see eye to eye with me on this, and very rarely do I convince people otherwise, but I still make sure I get my voice heard anyway. But it has forced me to also be aggressive with other negotiations that have nothing to do with that one particular drug, right? Negotiating workplace accommodations for other issues, right? Negotiating compensation at work, right? Negotiating where I take a date to, right? Just the fact that I have to negotiate my way into getting into a business that doesn't like the fact that I didn't take this pharmaceutical drug has kind of pushed me with other uncomfortable discussions that I need to make in my life, right? Anyway, I'd like to say thank you, Brandon, for giving me this learning experience of a lifetime.